Hey, what's up guys? I'm actually bringing you guys another video. This time, I'm actually using my shield and sword. Now, the difference with this shield and sword setup, you could run element on your shield and sword, but the thing with element on shield and sword, it only affects, you only use the element if you're using your sword. So what I mean by that is if your combo is only using the sword, your element will come out of the sword only. If you use the shield, your shield will only hit raw. But the positive thing about the shield is that it does not chew through your sharpness because it's only the shield, and you also create stun damage with your shield. Now, if you're using the sword and using an element, the combo you want to go for is going to be something like this. Or if you were to turn your character, it would still be something like this. So regardless of how you're, what angle you're at, this is the combo you're gonna want to go for. Now, there's probably something like that you've seen that it's always does this or this pretty much, and the reason why it does that is because you're holding your left stick on any of the angles that you're at, forward or to the left or to the right, whatever angle you're at. That always gonna pop up the shield, and you can actually use the shield right off the rip if you wanted to just stun the monster or just run a completely just shield only run, like just hit the monster with just the shield. But aside from that, if you were just to do this the whole fight, would actually be perfectly fine. You would just have to run more attack jewels because the shield only benefits from attack jewels, and the sword benefits from both attack and elemental jewels, depending on the element, of course. So if you were to use just the elements, you're gonna want to do a combo like this when the monster is knocked out on the floor. You're not gonna want to do this the whole fight because you won't be doing too much damage. If you want to do more damage to get the monster knocked out faster, it would be the backstep. Regardless if you have the element or not, it will always be backstep. Now, the way to do the backstep, there are a couple ways, so I'm gonna show you one or two. The first one would be just do a hit and then backstep. It works as well if you do a shield hit and backstep. And if you were to do it from this angle, you would have to do it left side instead of back. It's the same thing on the opposite side, then back. So depending on the angle you're at is how you're gonna do your backstep. So now another way to do it would be with the guard and then backstep. Now that's the slowest way to do it. If once you get the hang of it, you can actually do it a lot faster. So if you were to do it from any angle, you can actually do it a lot faster. And if you ever come crashing down with your fist, pretty much when you hit the ground with B, when you're in the air, you can just hit backstep, or whatever angle you're at, you just hit the opposite side of that angle so that you pretty much backstep again and then go back into that combo. You would actually see me do it in this fight. I'm gonna show you what I mean. So we're just gonna go ahead and eat our food buff. We got Slugger. This will actually help us out with the shield. So let's go ahead and actually start this fight. Now, I don't have an investigation, so let's do one of my optionals. Well, one of the optionals. Let's go ahead and start this fight. Now, we're going to be doing the same thing here that we did with the bow. We're just going to be using Demon Powder and Might Seed. And for the most part, the fillers on these builds, there isn't much. I will actually show you the decorations at the end of the fight and how it fits into the build. It's not too hard to make this build. I do have variations of this build where I'm actually running 7 attack because I can actually slot in 7 attack jewels, or this one, which is probably the most common one I use for all my Joe weapons, which is just the crit eyes. Now let's go ahead and start this fight. Let's actually get our sword ready. Here we go, we got the buff on that backstep. Backstep again, right there. Right there we messed up. We should have just dodged, but we chose to go for the... There we go. We just went for the stun to stun him out. And backstab. Let's go ahead and do this. So, when this is what I mean, you're always going to go up and... Alright, oh, we dodged way too early for that one. We should have just waited. Sometimes you gotta be patient. Backstep. Dodge. Backstep. There we go. This takes practice, by the way, guys. You will get this down eventually. Every time you backstep, the evasion mantle will prong. So right here, we're just gonna go ahead, get in the air again, do another hit, dodge again. All right, he missed us there. Good. Backstep. He missed us right there. Another hit with the shield. There we go. Stun. So this is actually the way you want to be using the shield into the fight. That's the best way to implement the shield into this fight, is pretty much by using the stun values for it. So as you can see, we're pretty much making no effort on... Teostra's not putting up a fight. So right here, well, we messed up right here. So let's go ahead. Nope, you're not getting away. Good thing that the shield pretty much, the shield and sword lets you use items really fast. So you can use flash pods like almost instant. Knock them out again. So this is what you guys normally see me do on my speed runs for the shield and sword. And I'm actually going to show you the decorations and show you that it's not hard to make. Now, we did end up getting to blue sharpness, but as you can see, the shield always stays at max damage regardless of what your sharpness is, because the shield does not benefit from the sword, and the sword, if you were to run element, only benefits from the element. But as you can see, the shield always stays at max damage regardless of your sharpness, which is really good to have. Now we're gonna go ahead and then we're gonna get to back to base so I can show you the decoration slots for this. I kind of wish I was able to show it to you sooner, but if you guys just want to take a screenshot of this and then just implement it into your builds, then go right ahead. This is why the reason why you normally see me run Devil Joe weapons is for this very reason, because the raw is so high on the Joe weapons that you can just run attack jewels and do perfectly fine, and you don't need to run elements. Now, it doesn't necessarily say that it completely replaces those weapons that use elemental jewels. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's required less effort, pretty much. You don't have to run elementless. Some of the weapons do need protective polish. Like the Divine Slasher, it's a nice weapon to use, really nice to have. I love the way the weapon looks, but it does have the tiniest white sharpness you can use, which is why I normally run 3 handicraft and then protective polish. We actually got that in 3 minutes flat. We were like 2 milliseconds away from getting to 301, but we got it 3 minutes flat. Well, not flat, because we did have the 9800th of a second there, but we did get 3 minutes, which is good. But as you can see, you can actually use this build. I'm gonna show you the decorations I use. But if anything else, guys, if you found this helpful, I would be doing more of the shield and sword, and I would pretty much use this weapon for the most part. So you can actually just make this build and then test it out on every Elder Dragon or every monster for that matter. But depending on the monsters, the way you want to change your playstyle depending on the monster. So if a monster flies like Rathalos, you don't want to be doing this combo over and over again unless you knock him out first. So let's go ahead. I'll show you the decorations. I know this is what most of you guys were waiting for. It's the decorations. So we actually made the build easier to make. Sometimes I forget to always run the Nergigante's helm alpha. I normally end up running the beta sometimes because of the horns. But if you run the alpha, most people don't know this, but if you run the alpha set for the helmet, you will actually already get an attack jewel from the helmet because it comes with one. If you run the beta set of this, you will actually get 2 size 1 slots. So that's why we're running the Nerg Alpha instead, because we slot in 1 attack jewel. So you only need 1 attack jewel. That's why I'm making the builds easier. And we're running the Nerg's coils as well, so that gives us 2 attacks, so that leaves us at 4. We are running 5 handicraft. We normally always run 5 handicraft on these Joe weapons. So we're running 3 handicraft from the charm and 2 from the boots. On the boots, we're also running 2 expert jewels. We're running an expert jewel on the Kaiser Van Bracer Alpha, which comes with the weakness exploit. And we're running Cove's Taroth chest piece, which comes with 2 crit boosts. If you do not have the Cove armor, get it. It's actually a pretty good armor. On mixed sets, it's okay altogether, but if you have a mixed set, it's actually one of the best armors to use because you can use it on almost anything. Now, another thing, since we're running 4 expert jewels, you don't need 4. The only reason why we're running 4 is to have 30. As you can see, we do run Infinity Booster on this build, so you don't need 4. If you only have 1 or you only have 2, it's fine. You can just slot in whatever you have. But this is the build for the most part, guys. I hope this was helpful and it gives you a little bit more of an in-depth about the shield and sword, and maybe you would like to pick up the weapon itself. Now, the shield and sword doesn't only work with raw, it's actually pretty good with element as well. I would actually like to keep testing element so that I know how to make it better for most people if they want to keep it fresh. But of course, guys, if anything else, peace out, have a great night. I'm heading off to bed. But if this was helpful, like, share, subscribe. You can share the video with your friends if you want them to learn shield and sword, or maybe they're having a tough time understanding how the shield and sword hits so hard. You guys can show them this video. But if anything else, later.